Good day everyone, I am Marchimo Saavedra. For this video, I am going to share to you my understanding about the MARPOL Annex 1, MARPOL Annex 2, MARPOL Annex 3, and MARPOL Annex 4. So, oil spillage from vessels can get into the sea due to accidental spills and leakages or by operational ignorance of the ship's crew. Any oil spill has an influence not just on the current marine environment but also on the marine species and natural ground along the coast. So, oil leaks occurrences at sea have decreased dramatically in recent years, yet they cannot be completely eliminated. So, MARPOL Annex 1 regulations for prevention of pollution by oil was entered into force on October 2, 1983. So, its objective is to protect the marine environment by completely eliminating pollution by oil and other harmful elements or harmful substances and decrease the possibility of such elements being accidentally discharged. So, Annex 1 of MARPOL covers all oil containing fluids that can be discharged overboard at sea. MARPOL Annex 1 is a control of discharge of oil from machinery space or from cargo and ballast spaces and a lot more. So as per MARPOL Annex 1, you cannot discharge oil from any anywhere or any different areas. There are specific special areas where you can discharge oil from your ship. So, special areas for discharge regulations of this annex are the following. So, the Mediterranean Sea, Baltic Sea, the Black Sea, the Red Sea, Gulfs area, the Gulf of Aden, Antarctic Sea, Northwest European waters, Oman area of the Arabian Sea, and the southern South African waters. So let us now go to MARPOL Annex 2. So MARPOL Annex 2 is the regulations for the control of pollution by noxious liquid substances in bulk. So Annex 2 came into force on April 6, 1987 and contains discharge conditions for the four categories of noxious substances and requirements applicable to the construction and equipment of ships carrying such substances. So, four categories of noxious substances are Category X, Category Y, Category Z, and Category OS. So, for the Category X, it presents a major hazard to either marine resources or human health. For Category Y, it presents a hazard to either marine resources or human health or cause harm to amenities or other legitimate uses of the sea. So for Category Z, it presents a minor hazard to either marine resources or human health. So for Category OS, it presents no harm to marine resources or human health or amenities or other legitimate uses of the sea. So the fundamental premise of Annex 2 is to disperse cargo residues in salt water to specified level based on either pollution hazard and to make discharge dispersal easier by utilizing the ship's weight. So the discharges must be made below the water level so that the water or residue mixture is retained in the ship boundary layer and carried aft while en route to be disseminated by the wake's stern. So for MARPOL Annex 3, which is the prevention of pollution by harmful substances carried by sea in packaged form. So it went into force on July 1, 1992. It includes standards for the safe handling of packaged substances that pose a major environmental danger, as well as instructions for identifying hazardous substances. Its goal is to prevent or reduce pollution of the marine environment caused by hazardous substances in packaged form or in freight containers, detachable tanks, road and rail tank carriages, or other forms of containment specified in the schedule for hazardous substances in the IMDG code. So these are the regulations of MARPOL Annex 3. So Regulation 1 is the application. Regulation 2 is packing. Regulation 3 is marking and labeling. Regulation 4 is the documentation. Regulation 5 is stowage. Regulation 6 is quantity limitation. Regulation 7 is exceptions. Regulation 8 is port state control on operational requirements. Also, these are the IMDG classes. So class 1 is explosives, class 2 is gases, class 3 is flammable liquid, class 4 is flammable solids, class 5 is oxidizing substances and organic peroxide, class 6 is toxic and infectious substances, and class 7 radioactive materials, class 8 corrosives, and class 9, which is the miscellaneous dangerous goods. And lastly, we have the MARPOL Annex 4. So prevention of pollution by sewage from ships. So it was entered into force on September 27, 2003. The regulations contain requirements for surveys and certification of sewage systems and impose operational restrictions regarding sewage discharge. It has a chapters 1 to 5 that has a lot of specific regulations on it. Some examples of the regulations of this annex are: first, it deals with the surveys to be done on ships implicated by this annex, provide the details for issue or endorsement of certificates by the administration and by another government, gives details of form, duration, and validity of the sewage pollution prevention certificate, provides the need of having equipment and control of sewage discharge from the ship, provides details of sewage systems requirement on ships and having a standard sewage discharge connection to transfer sewage to port facilities, discharge of sewage at sea within and outside special areas, and a lot more. Also, the Baltic Sea area has been adopted as the first special area for sewage discharge regulation for this annex. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.